I'm telling you, you ruined it.
It's sounding good. I'm not even looking. I'm on my phone.
I'm only looking at this.
That's what I mean.
This is Ourida. Ourida is a Brooklyn-based, Parisian-born French-Algerian vocalist, pianist, and songwriter. And yeah, it's just Ourida, like Sting or Madonna. Here she is, being a freaking rock star. And here she is, well, yeah, being a freaking rock star. Ourida is one of those people who, whether she knew it or not, was always unique enough and expressive enough that all she needed was to find the right artistic outlet in order to inspire others. She's an artist. And a freaking star, famous or not. Okay, one more gut punch of cuteness, just real quick. Ourida's music pulls from too many sources for me to list, yet it's completely unique, rich with tone, vibe, and attitude, and strikes that perfect balance both to challenge the listener and still provide welcome to anyone who can connect to music. So we're very excited to have her today on our new show, So I think we met each other. Welcome to the show, Ourida. I think we met each other for the first time at a party of musicians. We were waiting for the bathroom. And I think we talked for 10 or 15 minutes while other people went in, and I think maybe we talked about 30 things, and I kept thinking, wow, this person is very interesting. So that's why one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show. Of course, your music is the first reason. Tell us a little bit about your background, first of all. Just really quickly catch us up. Where you're from, where you were born, when did you come here to Brooklyn?
So that's a big background.
Yeah, sure.
I'm born in Paris. And actually, I just did the music conservatory because my mom wanted the 4 kids to do something with music, but it was very academic and classical, and I loved it though. The other one dropped, but I really loved it. And
none of the other siblings?
No, because it was demanding.
Yeah.
And
piano or voice?
Piano.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, voice came really later.
Okay.
But I just remember that there was this type of music, and then my father was listening to a lot of Algerian music. But that's it. I didn't really knew much until this cable TV called Canal Plus started. I must have been 9 or 10 or something. And before the cable started, it was only music videos.
Right.
So all at once, I had Bob Marley. I will never forget that. Bob Marley singing One Love.
How old were you then?
9, maybe 10.
Yeah.
But it had a huge impact on me, these music videos, with a lot of songs and really cool singers and cool music and completely different vibes from all over the world.
What did your parents think of it? Loved it?
They didn't
Not
think
sure.
about it.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. I don't think they had time to notice at what place I was. But for me, it was huge. And a few years after, my bigger sister started to listen to dark music, like The Cure, or also punk music, a lot of stuff that were really beautiful.
Yeah. Your family's Algerian?
So my dad.
Your dad is.
My mom is French.
And were you raised with that as part of your life, the culture and the...
Of course. I mean, yes and no. I did not feel that I was raised really differently than anybody else, but I was.
Right. Yeah. So what has your Brooklyn journey been like so far? What motivated you to move here, and what has it been like here? If you could sum it up. I know it's hard to sum up. It's an epic thing, but hard, beautiful.
At first, very hard.
Yeah.
At first, very hard. The
Me
level
too.
of musicians is unbelievable. When you arrive, it can be really overwhelming. but also extremely stimulating. That my number one stimulation is New York. In New York, it's the musicians. That's the musicians I can play with. It's just insane.
Has that elevated you? Someone said to me, it's like when a plane takes off and it's really turbulent, but then after 30,000 feet, it's kind of gliding. But with New York musicians, it's like when a space shuttle takes off, it's really turbulent, and then after a while, you're floating with the rest of them. Do you feel like that at all? Like you're here, you're part of it, you're part of the zoo?
A little bit more than before,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot to do. Yeah, a lot to do.
Yeah, we talked before on this show about how people are not impressed in this city. Like they're like, standing ovation, what's next? And how that brings the level up just a little bit.
Did you move to Brooklyn, to New York with a goal in mind or some sort of vision of how you thought it might be?
Not at all.
No.
Nice.
I came for almost the same way I followed music. I followed my heart, and I never put the feet in the United States before. I won the green card at the lottery. Like the whole thing is like, I was saying to Ocean that I'm super sensitive to life synchronicities. I have friends who think it's not true. For me, it's like, go there. It's permanent signs. So I'm
down. I think we're both on the same page.
Well, so when you're not super satisfied with what's happening in your life, and my band was falling apart in Paris, and a lot of things were like not as I wanted to, and then you win the green card, you go to New York.
Wow.
But I didn't know what I was doing at all.
Did you think you would be here long? Or did you think, a year maybe? You've been here 10 years, right?
I had no idea of anything I was doing.
And 10 years you've been, right?
I just know that people asked me when I was coming back.
Yeah.
To Paris.
Family.
That's interesting, like they assumed.
They were like, when do you come back? How long do you go? And I was just not answering.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I also had this album that was ready and I wanted to self-release it. So I was like, let's bring it to New York.
What was the name of the album?
Monkeys. Then it was like a quick self-release. I didn't really invest because I didn't realize what arriving in New York meant in terms of energy.
And you have a project coming up. You have an album coming up,
Yes.
right? When will that be released?
Hopefully January 2022.
Sure.
I wanted to release it before, but as you know, life has been
It's been a little strange.
Complicated.
I noticed in your show the other night, we went to your show 3 nights ago?
Yeah.
And you talked about the pandemic a lot and what it was like to be locked up. And you have some songs that even reference it and all of this. I have some musician friends that are kind of ignoring it,
I should have not talked about it. It's true.
Yeah.
Don't talk too much about it.
Yeah.
But I did because it was also...
Your first show back. And
Yeah,
you were talking about how it felt. What did it feel like to perform for people, with people, in front of people for the first time after a year and a half?
it felt great. At the same time, all the question that you ask regarding where you want to go and how you want to sing, everything is coming back. It's like you think you changed a lot.
Yeah.
That's
I know, you
interesting,
pick
yeah.
It's like,
There's a movie.
The demons are still there.
oh yeah.
There's a movie called Round Midnight that's about jazz musicians featuring Dexter Gordon,
yes.
who's a real jazz musician, not an actor, even though I think he was nominated for an Academy Award. And he, in the beginning of the movie, he tells his friend, I think I'm going to move back to Paris. And his friend said, oh, yeah? You know who's going to be waiting for you on when you get off the plane, right? And he says, who? And his friend says, you are. Like,
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
really outrun yourself.
Yeah.
You know, wherever you go,
You
gonna
are,
be the
here you
same.
are.
What's the best advice you've ever been given about music from a mentor, or maybe even some of my 9-year-old students sometimes give me advice and I pick it and put it in my notebook and keep it for later. Anything stick out?
Yeah. So the first that come in mind is nobody's more Ourida than Ourida, because I was completely overwhelmed by the other powerful songs or music or voice. And it was actually something that was obvious in my performances, that I was trying to look like, I was not aware of it, but I think I was not daring being myself or doing my own songs really without trying to do a song like that looked like. And the day this person who's a great artist told me that, it was, I understood something. And now I say it to everybody. Nobody's more ocean jewel than ocean jewel. I mean,
no
I
one
s-
wants to be more ocean.
No, but I try. No, but that's really say that.
Seriously, yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
is more you than you. It's true. It's simple,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's very freeing.
I grew up looking up to people like Charlie Parker and John Coltrane.
Yeah.
And it's like at some point you have to let that go because you're not going to be there. I don't care if you do practice 16
Yeah.
hours a day, you'll never be like them.
And
you
that's
know?
not the goal.
Yeah. Kat's better about this than I am. She's kind of like, I want to play what makes me happy. I want to practice what makes me happy. And like, just kind of, we've talked about it even at the end of the pandemic or in the middle of it. I said, you know what? I think I've done enough. I'm just going to practice what is really my thing. You know, I've stretched out to so many different things trying to model myself after this and learn something from them. But like at some point, I think you have to come home and just be rooted in yourself.
And it's going to be in your music anyway.
Yeah.
All you've been through, all you've learned of you.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I hope like maybe a 15-year-old kid in Japan who wants to be a singer hears that and takes that with them.
In the dark, a little owl turns her back, eyes in a shawl. See the scar across her chest, and a pearl lies in her nest. See her wings, migratory birds, to the south, wandering in the world. Going fast where we're going slow, going high when we're going low. We are one, or we are two. We are bound, or we are blue. We go deep to find the gold in our sleep, already old. Now she flies like the others do, wondering if this song is new. Where is where we can really grow? Where is where little owls go? Where do you go, bats? Where do you go, bats? When you fly away. Where do you go, bats? Where do you go, bats? When you fly away. Where do you go, bats? Where do you go, bats? When you fly away. Where do you go, bats? Where do you go, bats? When you fly away. Where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go?
curious if you write your own lyrics.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that because as an instrumental composer, it's really different trying to convey a sentiment not using words than with using words. And also, do you write in different languages, and how does that shape how you write the text?
That's a very important question. The lyrics, I think it's the hardest part in the song, for me at least. It's not that what comes the easier, and it can really ruin the song. Like bad lyrics, it's terrible. And I studied literature at first. I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a journalist or a poet, or that's what I wanted to do first. And then I realized that that was not really something that was going to put me closer to people. I know some people who write and they have the opposite feeling, like that's their way of communicating. It was not my way of communicating because I needed stage. I felt the connection with stage very early. So I was like, okay, so maybe I'm an actress. I wanted to be more on that. And at the same time, I wanted to be a pianist. And all this was not working. Yeah. Nothing was really... I went pretty far in theater and piano and writing, but with this feeling that it was not it. And that's when I started to sing, that everything made sense. And everything made sense in a song. But still, the lyrics, there is an ease, I think, with English for me, because it's not my first language, and so I can mess up way more. But a lot of people like when I sing in French more than when I sing in English, which says a lot.
So maybe if you're writing in English, you can feel a little more playful, like childlike in that way. Yeah.
I can even say things that actually that don't work in English very well without realizing it. And people are like, oh, it's poetic. Didn't really make it on purpose.
Yeah. When you were doing all the different things and then music became the thing, was it a lightning bolt? Was it a light bulb that went on? A big moment like, that's it. This is what I'm doing. Or was it slowly?
It's like the question stopped. Like I had this permanent...
Same for me. Nice. Exactly same for me. Yeah.
It's like you know, it's not even necessarily positive.
Yeah.
Like in my case, it made me really weird. I think I was less weird before writing songs and being on this thing where like everything is focused there. But there was no shadow of a doubt. When I was trying to be an actress and everything, I could see people who were real comedian or real actor. I could feel I was not really... Something was missing. Something was off.
You know, I think that's what real love is. There's this philosopher, Slavoj Zizek. He says, here's what love is. It's something that happens that you may not want to happen. It's not like the movies. You may have your life. You may have like, oh, I go on a date every now and then. I go out with my friends. I can do whatever I want. And then, boom, you run into someone in the elevator. And it's like, oh, God, no. My whole life is ruined now. I had it all perfect out.
Something you're always coming back to. It's like those moments where you hate the piano or you're frustrated with this person. And you always want to come back. You just like have to.
Yeah. In a way, I'm happy you talk about that. Because that's what I thought when you were asking why do we play music? I was like, well, it's not really about why. Like, why do you love that person? Like, some people would be like, why do you love that person? You know,
there's
like,
a bunch of songs written about this.
That doesn't
why
make
do
any
I
sense.
love you? You know.
Well, yeah, but it's true that you know if you're a musician, that's it. You're a musician, and that the love of it is not necessarily a choice. But you're not gonna say, oh. Maybe you're going to say that, but if you say, oh, no, I don't love you when you actually love the person, it's going to be 100 years of songs, you know.
Right. So I was listening to your music the other night, and I was thinking, the music really serves the lyrics. And sometimes it's not sad music, sad lyrics. It can be happy music, sad lyrics, and make a more complex emotion like emotions really are. They're very, they're bittersweet, you know, some things like this. How do you put the two things together? How do you know when it's right?
I know when it's not right, like very clearly.
Yeah.
And I find, again, the lyrics, I find it is the hardest part. Because anytime I'd be like, oh, it's going to be about that, or I'm going to talk about that, forget about it. It's not working. If I'm too willing to do something, it's not working.
You
But
have to
there's-
let it take you somewhere. You mean?
Exactly. So it has to be the song guiding you, and sometimes that's not where you want to go.
Yeah. Which is the same for instrumental music too, I think. So
Yeah.
you're writing something, maybe you want it to have a certain sentiment or you want it to feel a certain way, but if the song is leading you down this path, you just sort of have to take it.
Oh yeah, even more when you're doing improvisation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the lyrics, honestly, it's a very mysterious thing. What is sure is that I'm working on it, and there's a lot of putting away all that is fake. Putting away all that is fake. So many words don't work, and so at the end, what is left, and it can be words from life, stuff that has been said in real life or images from life.
Can you talk about channeling vibe and energy into your music? You're not a person who sings, you know, straight up at the microphone and okay, everyone moves a little bit, but no, you're moving, you're trying to kind of channel something. So like, and it seems very vibey, very rich with like personality and attitude.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I'm happy you like it. I'm happy you feel something, because that's the goal, right? That's now it's pretty mysterious for me too. What is sure is that you were saying, well, you can put an accent there or a minor chord there, but it doesn't count. Actually, it does, and it's something that other musicians I'm playing with taught me a lot. Because at first, when I started to do my song and I started to play with musicians, I was just talking about the vibe and I was just talking about my images, and they were like, what the fuck? You know, just tell me what you want to...
Sure. It can go that other way too.
No, but
too far the other way.
That's how I was communicating, and it was not working.
But I think what that means is you had to figure out how to communicate it through notation or language.
Exactly.
What you wanted.
Exactly.
So other people may know those things, but the vibe isn't really there. Does
Yeah,
that
but
make sense?
but then you realize that there's a link. Like when I think it's Miles Davis, right, who said, play only the beautiful notes or something like this. Play only...
yeah, something. What was it?
I think he was talking about, I don't want to quote it wrongly, but he's talking about the essential, like just play what is beautiful to you, basically to your ear, but don't add, I don't want to quote him wrongly, but he said something about the important notes.
It's okay. He
for
quoted
you.
a lot of people wrongly in his book.
Yeah. So it's just to say,
including himself.
If already on a melody
Yeah.
or on the chords you add or the words you put, if you try to get rid of everything that is fake to you, it's already a lot of work to do that, actually, because it requires your complete honesty. Again, Kat was talking about sometimes you want to go there or to do something, but the song wants something else. Sometimes you resist. Sometimes you're like, oh no, I want to be that cool...
Right.
I don't know, like there's a punk song. I never wanted to do a punk song in the set. The guys were having fun around it. Like it's a good song because I didn't say, oh, I want to do a punk song. I think if I wanted to do that, that would be... Because the topic is very dark and very true. It's something I went through. It's a real life, I want to say. So how do you... channel vibe? I think if you're a little bit authentic and you have been through tough stuff, people feel it. You're almost moving like a cat when you are rolling on your back. You're almost moving like a king. Soliman, being with you in Harlem means rivals all the time. Being with you in Harlem, am I the moon is on, till the light is gone. Away from earth, my brother in arms, until the light is on. Being with you in Harlem, eagles of every kind. Being with you in Harlem, take possession of my mind, using their venenos spine, lying on you with my lips, making a lunar eclipse, with a shelter on the side. Being with you in Harlem, inside of it all the chimes of the Himalayas. I'll make you feel the full moon is on, until the light is gone. Away from earth, my brother in arms, till the light is on. I'll make you feel the full moon is on, until the night is gone. How high the moon, my brother in arms, till the light is gone. Suleiman, Suleiman, Suleiman.
We're all instrumentalists. Singers are instrumentalists. People
Yeah.
don't think of that when
Yeah.
they're watching American Idol, but it's true. What's it like to have an instrument not just in your body, but it is your body, and it changes over time? And for me, I complain about reeds, but if the weather is different, your voice is different. If the pressure is different, your voice is different. What's it like to have an instrument inside of you?
Well, we're all, for me, the frustrating part is the feeling misunderstood.
Yeah.
Feeling misunderstood in that sense
Ah.
that you were talking about your saxophone, nobody touched your saxophone because it's precious and it's da-da-da, and it's like nobody touched that saxophone. It's
Yeah, I was
my
talking
sax-
about the airport security.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
talking about.
Jerking it out of the case one day.
Yeah, but some people can get that pretty easily. It's his instrument. He's a musician. It's when it's your body. I mean, what?
Like you get pigeonholed as a diva, perhaps.
Or I think there is no instrument between you and the audience. There is no instrument between you and the people.
Yeah.
So when it's clear then that you sing, I never had people understand you when you sing because they see that you are using your instrument.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be surprised that you want a tea with honey in it before a show. But you're not just a singer when you sing. Same way you're not just a saxophonist when you take your saxophone. You are this type of musician all the rest of the time. It has an impact on the way you use your breath. Kat, I'm sure your relationship with piano has, about harmonies probably more than singers. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but there is.
She does.
I'm sure she does, and it's such a rich instrument and rhythmic instrument, but so what I find hard sometimes is a little bit like an actress, I think, or it's not clear that your instrument is out of you. So sometimes you can be seen or understood as a diva when it's just like you just try to protect your instrument. So that makes you be a little bit strange.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of working all the time in some place,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, singing, this isn't a question, it's just like an observation, but it's so fascinating because it's one of the most difficult instruments, I think, to do well. But also, anybody can do it. anybody can sing. So
Yeah.
it's this like, I don't know, this human community thing that's available to everybody, yet it's also something that you can master. That's so I don't know, it's so challenging in a way.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's the hardest
No.
instrument, because first I played piano and I wanted to be a pianist, but everything was telling me I was not going to be. You know, everything was telling me I was not going to be like a professional pianist, just piano concertist or something. Like, it was clear.
Right.
So, but I think it's an incredible instrument. And then I started to play trumpet, as I explained to you, and I was like, that's a really demanding instrument. Physically, it's just like intense. So I would say voice.
I know a woman who went on her honeymoon and brought the mouthpiece so she could do exercises every day to keep her embouchure.
Oh, you have to keep it every day. That's exactly. Every good trumpetist I heard, they play every day, no matter what, or maybe one day off.
And then they can have injury. A lot of trumpet players, people don't talk about this, but a lot of brass players have injury here, and then it's like, that's your instrument. You can't put a reed on instead. You know what I mean? It's done. Same way for singers. I have to get my instrument out to be able to put my mind into music, to translate my mind, what I hear, my heart, whatever, into music. But there's no real separation between a singer's mind and their instrument. It's right there. I don't know what to ask. It's just phenomenal to me that it's a direct channel to your instrument.
But
that's powerful.
However, I agree with Kat that everybody can sing. Completely agree with that, and
Well,
that's also the powerful.
You won't be hearing me do it on
No,
camera.
but when you were a child,
do
I'm
it.
sure you were
Sure.
singing.
I
problem.
love to sing.
Look, children, they're all singing.
Yeah.
They're all singing.
But what does it feel like? Does it feel powerful that you can just think and it comes out? It's almost like a magician, it sounds like to me. You know, I have to be like, oh, G sharp. It's here
really
with
think
the
about
pinky. When I'm teaching kids, I'm like, no, that's a G. G sharp has the pinky. But it's like, no, hear it.
Yeah,
Just
but
hear
then-
it and your voice will do it.
But that's the feeling I have with pianists. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, we're
Like
all
I-
jealous.
I-
Yeah, we're
keep-
jealous of you, Ourida.
I keep taking piano lessons. I don't understand how a musician can be so free with their instrument. I think we need to accept what is our instrument, and then we can be really free
Fair.
with it.
Fair.
And I think my instrument is voice,
Yeah.
period. But I would have loved, we were talking about that on other topic. I want this. Well, it's not really about what you want. It's
Yeah.
about what is true. I wanted to be a pianist, but I'm a singer. It's okay. But then when I see a pianist who is a pianist and not a singer, or I don't know, maybe you sing, Kat, so I was not talking about you, but who is clear with what her instrument is. And I mean, I'm still a pianist, but
One of the weird things about piano is you have to, if you're playing in places, your instrument is whatever they have, you know? And
Yeah.
that's something they complain about a lot, that it's like, you have to show up, oh, this one's, the action's a little too heavy, it's different, and all night I'm going to be playing in it, you know? That's very
Well, it's
nerve-wracking.
interesting to try to tease out the beauty on every different instrument.
Optimist way of looking at it,
But
maybe.
usually it's possible. Sometimes it's not. Trust
Right.
me.
Yeah, I
no,
know.
but then you can have the problem with the sound as well, with the
Yeah.
microphone and the sound
Yeah.
equipment.
Yeah.
Sometimes your voice is like not happening at all.
Well, I tell my students to play anytime you see a piano and it's appropriate, try to play on it, because you have to get used to playing in every situation, because that's what your life's going to be if you're going to be a musician.
You were singing the other night, and you were talking about the North African. You had the audience do the thing that North African women
yeah.
do. What is that called?
Alors, I'm not sure about the word.
Well,
It's
then
an
you were
Arabic
singing,
word.
and you were using vibrato,
yeah.
and I heard a little bit of that in your singing. When I think of some people, like Sting, it's like just a note.
Yeah.
But yours has a lot of stuff in it. You do different things with the voice. There's some growly things. There's a lot of louds and a lot of quiets. It's very dynamic and varied. And I just wanted to know, like,
Am I doing it on purpose?
well,
Am
you're
I-
definitely doing it naturally. It's who you are. You wouldn't.
No,
be-
but there are some things that I mean, for instance, I think the song you were talking about, I've noticed in many Algerian songs that they are doing this thing with the throat, where the sound is going down and then coming back to the melody, and it's so beautiful. And I kind of used it. I didn't try to imitate exactly, but I noticed that it was pretty easy to do. Maybe because I was imitating Berber when I was young a lot. I regret so much that I don't speak Kabyle, and I really tried. So because it's more for men. My dad was with the other men, and I was the girl, and I was hanging out with them all the time. But it's just like I didn't really have the place to really learn the language. But I heard so much and tried so much to reproduce that there's a lot of sounds I have no problem to say if I say a sentence. And I think I don't think I did it consciously, but it helped my throat to actually relax and then come back on this song in particular. But it's true that I listen to a lot of world music singer, even though I hate that word, but there's so many ways of using your voice. So it's tempting to incorporate them to what you want to express. So on some songs, I think I'm focusing on what I want to express. And so a little bit like I was talking about the lyrics and images coming between the scene I want to describe or the emotion I want to... There are moments where I want to sing that song, and then there is this way of singing that seems appropriate. Like the beginning of the punk song, the big sound on the throat. I didn't really do it on purpose. I thought about the accident and the sound of the car and the sound of the ambulance. I was more thinking, how can I recreate the scene?
Yeah. Great. We do a little segment called Wish I'd Known Then. You don't have to do it, but it's just something that you could share that you wish you knew when you were younger, that you wish you'd known going into all of this, maybe about music, maybe about dealing with people, maybe about dedication to something, or being tough when you moved to New York, or anything. So quickly, if you wanted to share something that you wish you'd known earlier that maybe like a kid might like to hear going into all this.
Well, the thing about communication and negotiation and what is the word? Keeping your cool, or all these things. I completely neglected all that. I think I started to be focused on the writing songs and singing, and I created this big screen between people and me, like if I was not interested anymore, which is completely, I don't think it's good to do that at all. I don't do it on purpose at all. But it's a special mistake when you're a singer, because the singer is really the communication person in the band. And I made a mistake, I think, to not really elaborate in terms of communication skills. And also I was too blunt. I was saying everything I was thinking to bookers, it created troubles to me.
Really?
Oh yeah, I lost big opportunities because of my lack of communication skills. I was just, or someone was telling me, oh, you don't play that song, or I was like, what? I do whatever I want. Okay, I think it's good to be free. I'm not saying you should not be free.
Well, we have to fight for that, musicians, I think.
Yeah, but I've seen people doing exactly the same thing I'm doing with a smile.
Sure.
And just being a little bit smart.
Yeah.
I think I was too honest.
It's not really being nicer, it's being smarter about it.
Yeah, well, I recommend being smarter about it.
Yeah.
Because you need to have communication between someone and you in order to have the gig and in order to have your songs heard.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was...
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Every time we say goodbye, I die a little every time we say goodbye. I wonder why a little, why the goats above me who must be in the knows think so little of me, they allow you to go. When you're near, there's such an ear of spring about it. I can hear the lark somewhere begin to sing about it. There's no love song finer, but how strange the change from major to minor every time we say goodbye. Every time we say goodbye, I die a little. Every time we say goodbye, I wonder why a little, why the goats above me who must be in the knows sing so little of me, they allow you to go. When you're near, there's such of spring about it. I can hear a lark somewhere begin to sing about it. There's no love song finer, but how strange the change from major to minor every time we say
Our feature venue today is BARBES in Park Slope, Brooklyn. BARBES is a venue where musicians go to hear music, and there's good reasons for that. The music room is separate from the bar, the space is so close that you feel like you're in the band, and it just has a vibe that can't be put in words. Why is it like this? Simple. Club founder and curator Olivier Conant set out in 2002 to make it a place centered on the musicians and the diverse Brooklyn scene, booking everything from experimental music to jazz to singer-songwriters. In a recent interview with Brooklyn Rail, he said, "What makes BARBES special is, quote, a sense of togetherness, of intimate discovery." He wanted to create a place where people could, quote, try things and fail sometimes. Being allowed to fail is the most important thing, end quote. That's a very extraordinary philosophy, just so you know. This room is hip, it sounds great, it's great to go see music at. Musicians love playing there, they always book the best stuff, so please do yourself a favor and come to BARBES. It'll be your treat.